helping people. Like that was the purpose that I discovered, is that through the process of me creating my dream life, discovering it, pursuing it, and the process of achieving it, that I realized how awesomely amazing it is. And through that, I discovered that I wanted to share that with every other person on the face of the planet. And so my purpose, whether you call it well-being, whether you call it the dream life, whether you call it the best life, whether you call it heaven on earth, like my purpose is to help everybody else discover that same thing. It doesn't have to look the same, but they need to discover in principle the same.
For themselves.
Yeah, for themselves. It may look completely different than mine. And I'm learning that more and more every day, that how people choose to live their lives is none of my business or anybody else's business. That's their business. How do they choose to live their lives?
Whole concept of you and I talking about heaven. You know, heaven is a place on earth, and I feel like living your dream life is like living your own version of heaven. You know?
Yes.
Are you going? And again, you can choose heaven or you can choose hell. Hell is on earth too.
Awesome. Yeah, man, but everything's good my way, dude. Everything's good. You know, it's another beautiful, beautiful Thursday. This is episode 4? This is episode 4.
This is episode 4.
Hey, way to go, man. Virtual fist pump, bro. Virtual fist pump, because
let me see what you're saying.
This is so crazy. Hey, man, my dreams, living my dreams, dude. Like, that's what this show is all about, the dream life experience, you know? And it's awesome, bro. I mean, honestly, it's just I'm seeing everything truly come to fruition, and that's why I'm really excited about today's lecture, man. But what about you, bro? What about on your end?
On my end, thus far, I'm definitely feeling the same way you're feeling. I feel like a whole new person again. I feel like a cycle started over again. I feel, I don't know. I feel like I had to yesterday I had a revelation. I was listening to Dr. Miles Monroe, and I'm understanding more of like about willpower. You know, that's been like kind of the word of the season for me right now is willpower, and like overcoming your foolishness and overcoming like your laziness and overcoming your procrastination and overcoming, you know what I mean? Like really, really, for me in your book, it's like the I'd rather die than the IRD. That's what the best like correlation I can. That's one thing about you I've always admired, is because you are one of those people that I know that there's something about you, like you just do not give up. You don't know how to give up. You just keep persisting and persisting and persisting. And you know what I mean? And that's like, to me, like you do the work, you know what I mean? You do the work and like you go the extra mile. And I've always like, I've always admired that about you, especially like when you wrote this whole book, because I'm like, it's a whole book. You didn't write and in this chapter, you really gave them a story. You gave them a few stories. You know what I mean? The whole book is like this, but this chapter was very, very, very important. This chapter was very, very, very important. But no, I'm understanding more about willpower. I'm realizing I have to get angry enough at myself sometimes to actually like change, you know, evolve. Like, and I've always said it, it's like you can't let other people make you feel like, you know, anger is a negative emotion. No, anger is just an emotion. Like, I feel like the world has told people to stop getting in touch with their feelings, and your feelings are truly the secret, I feel like, to all of your crafts and all of your gifts. It's like, you know, sometimes you gotta get angry enough to actually evolve into something better for yourself, you know? People don't change, they refrain. People, they switch up for a couple of minutes, but if you want to make a big difference in your life, you have to evolve into a whole other person. You have to truly make a commitment to yourself that you're going to be the best version of yourself possible, you know? And it's like, are you taking it seriously? It was that kind of a conversation with myself. It was like, are you taking it seriously? And again, a lot of people have been getting sick and a lot of things. So I feel like that's what God is doing, is like making me take it more seriously, my life in general.
Wow. You know, what's so funny about that, man, and this is a Tony Robbins-ism, if you will, but he talks about raising your standards. No, look, he talks about raising your standards, right? And here's the ironic thing about you is that, I mean, you're on this entrepreneurial journey. You're reading books and doing the personal development, and just, wanting to create, wanting to share your story, share your voice, and improve yourself. And you're here in this moment talking about how you have to get serious with yourself to actually you know what I'm saying. It almost means it's the equivalent of listening to Usain Bolt or Michael Jordan or Oprah talk about how they need to take it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like,
yes,
but that's what Tony Robbins is talking about when he talks about raise your standards. That Ashani, that your hero is your future self 10 years from now. That's the person that you're trying to catch up to. And I think Matthew McConaughey says it. You ever heard that speech from Matthew McConaughey where he's talking about he's always trying to catch himself 10 years into the future, and so he's never like he's never satisfied, if you will. He has
say you don't lose the drive.
You don't lose the drive. So he has that inner peace, but he knows that man is formed for growth, and he's under the necessity of growing, and that it's essential to his happiness that he should continuously advance in life. Life without progress becomes unendurable, and the person who ceases from growth must either become imbecile or insane. The greater and more harmonious around his growth, the happier man will be. Wallace Waddles, Science of Being Great. Chapter 1.
I just love how you quoted your favorite person ever. You quoted your favorite person ever. I was reading, I think it was Miles Monroe, Dr. Miles Monroe, and he brought up this quote from Winston Churchill. It's courage is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. And
bro, I gotta show you this, man. I gotta show you this. Hey, and me and Jason were talking about you this morning, dude. Me and Jason were talking about you this morning. My neighbor Jason, you remember?
Who's Jason?
We'll have to talk about it later, man. But we were just talking about you and synchronicity, and he was talking about numbers, numerology, and stuff like that.
Oh,
and I was like,
man.
you remember Ashani that came out here? But let me show you this email that I sent off to 500 people yesterday, and I want you to see this because you're gonna think that I'm lying if I told you. So, wait, let me see. So this is the email I sent to 500 people. Look at that quote right there, bro.
What is it? What is it? Success is stemming from fear. Yes.
Bro, I just
it's been hitting it hit my spirit yesterday. I wrote it down. I literally wrote it down.
Bro, but that's an email I sent to 500 people yesterday. The podcast episode that we did, and that was the quote that I chose. That was the quote that I chose to put at the very top of the email, man. So that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Out of all the success quotes, out of all the quotes you could have came up with this morning, and it's the one that I just randomly came up with yesterday.
Oh yeah, and I wrote it down. This is from yesterday. I wrote it down. I was like scrolling through my playbook and like. Because it reminded me of what you were talking about. It reminded me of this conversation. Like, I don't know. For me, it's like when I get serious, I get really calm, extremely calm, like dangerously calm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you really, really, really start really just like relaxing and flowing into what you're supposed to be and who you're supposed to be. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like I get dangerous. I don't know. I feel like I just get more attentive, I just feel more sharp. I feel like I'm getting stronger every single moment. I don't know how to explain it to you. And that's how I felt since yesterday. Like yesterday I woke up and I just there's this fire that's lit, but it's like it's lit because of my own irritations to myself. It's like the things that I'm tolerating. You actually talked about it heavy in this chapter about, when you're pursuing your dream life and you're trying to discover and design your dream life. And I mean, the hardest thing about it though is just like, it's not hard, it's tough. You have to get out of your own way. You have to stop. It's like you're holding yourself back from your own belief. I think that some of the people we learned from Mr. Dudley, you can't have a poverty consciousness mind. Basically saying that, like, I always tell people whenever I tell people to write down their dream life, right? because you taught me, so I have to teach others. That's the rule. I always tell people, pretend like you have as much money in the world as possible. Like, don't say you can't have the mansion because you can't afford the mansion. That's not living your dream life. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right.
It's telling yourself you're gonna have the mansion, and like that's what you believe no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like holding, and again, I feel like so many people, because it really takes courage. It takes a lot of courage. Like, I see myself sitting here and I'm over here like getting mad at myself for not being like stronger and not moving faster and not moving more efficient. And it's like, wow, you're right. Like, Ashani, you're already pretty intense. Like, and I appreciate you saying that. I really appreciate you saying that, because it's like sometimes, and I do this with my friends too, it's like you have to let them realize, like, Ashani, you're a little boy from Jamaica. Look at where you're at now, just today. You know what I mean? You've already come so far. And that's why I told
Yeah.
God, if this is just a quarter piece of my life, God, give me the rest. Give me the rest. Give me
Yeah.
the rest. I'm going to plan the rest.
You said you're 25, right?
25 years old. Yeah.
25, man. You're one quarter of the way through, bro. Assuming you live till 100, and one
Assuming
fifth,
I live
one
to
fifth of the
100.
way through,
I'm just
if you
saying, I'm
make
just
it,
a quarter in. How about that?
or you're one fifth of the way through if you live to 125. You know what I'm saying? Like you're at the very beginning, and you're
Look,
already
I look so
so far
young for a
ahead.
reason. Mm-hmm.
You're already so far ahead, man. Yeah, you were frozen for a second there, um, and you're breaking up just a little bit. But I'll keep you posted on that. If it gets too bad, we'll have to figure out something. Um, but yeah, man. So
Let me see.
how you want to pursue? I mean, how you want to proceed? How you want to proceed? Welcome to the Dream Life Experience. I'm Dr. Quincy Hawley. This is Ashani Mabala, and we are the hosts of the Dream Life Experience. Da 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 da.
Da, da. That was really good. That was really good. Hi,
Yeah,
everyone. Hi, everyone. It's
yeah,
always
man.
good to be on another episode. I'm sorry. I realized I just started, didn't I? I was ready to go. I was ready to go. But today's chapter will be on discover and design your dream life.
Wait,
This is
wait,
chapter
wait,
2.
wait, 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 wait. It's so funny, man. Like you freeze, and then I say wait, and then you unfreeze. Are you in a bad spot? There's a little bit of breakup that's happening, like a little bit of
I was in the same spot that I've been.
maybe move your phone a
Let
little
me
bit.
leave the room. Let me leave the room and come back inside.
Okay, yeah, try that. I'm gonna pause it real quick. All right, so you got the critical points for us.
So, okay, so our critical points. We're gonna start off the chapter 2, but we're first talking about the critical points that was written down by Dr. Hawley. So critical points, chapter 2. Discover and design your dream life. 1. Your dream life description is your blueprint for your life. You can't possibly live your life without exactly the way you want it without knowing what you want. 2. When you dream big and others don't believe or discourage you, I want you to think back to the story of me and my tennis buddy. Never let someone else's fears and doubts determine or influence what is possible for you. 3. Your purpose or your why will be found in your dream life description. You may not see it initially, but if you look closely and frequently, you will surely find it. 4. You shouldn't have to find the balance between enjoying your life and working towards your dreams. Working towards your dreams should in and of itself be the enjoyment of your life. 5. It will take some time for you to achieve your dream life description. So waiting to completely achieve your dream life description should not be required for obtaining your happiness. You should be happy the day you start working towards your dream life. This happiness will grow each day you work towards the rest of your life and regardless of all circumstances. 6, don't be a pure dreamer. Become a dream achiever by taking enormous action towards making your dreams become reality. Wow, that's really empowering to read out loud. Very empowering.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that's really good. And I'll just give a quick kind of why I wanted this chapter in the book before we jump into it. Um, before I sort of started this whole dream life pursuit, discover, pursue, achieve thing, I was doing a lot of listening to motivational speakers and listening to people who were successful and just listening to what they were talking about. And one of the key things that they were all saying is that you have to know what it is that you want in life, and to not put any limitations on yourself, and to just, if there's something that you want in life, just to don't worry about the how, just go for it. And so I came up with this idea to map out my dream life, and I call it that whole process, it's creating a dream life description. And it's so crazy that I have um, I came up with a list, and many of the things that were on that list I've actually achieved, or I'm in the process of achieving. And the things that I didn't really want on that list, but I thought that I wanted, are now gone off of that list. And this is honestly what I feel is probably the most important part of discovering, pursuing, and achieving your dream life, is knowing what it is that you want to get out of life, knowing what it is that you want to achieve, and knowing kind of how you define success for yourself, and how you define your own personal dreams. Because if you know where you're going, if you know where you want to go, your chances of getting there just increase like 1,000-fold, not tenfold, not 100-fold, 1,000-fold, just by simply knowing what it is that you want.
See, this is why I love doing this, because actually this chapter came at a very divine time in my life, because now, I was just talking about it earlier, about how it's been challenging to get to the next level. I feel like God is forcing me to mature. I feel like that's where I'm at in my life right now. I feel like God is like, and you feel it. You feel like the old part of you tearing away, and you feel like this new person, this new shell. But at the same time, to get there, you still have to work harder than you've ever worked before. And even if it's not maybe not necessarily physically harder, you're writing more, but you're thinking more. You're manifesting different things at different levels now. So it's like you have to be more concentrated. The word has been for me focused thought. Focused thought, have focused thought, be able to read and be able to write things and be able to comprehend things better, understand, and move better. So for me, it's like you're talking about this dream life and the reason why you have to pursue it. And it's just like, if it doesn't set your soul on fire, it's like, why are you gonna do it? And even as you said, writing it down and like marking things off of it, I'm understanding that now. Oh man, all the things that I want, you may not get all of them. You're gonna get them in some way, but you may not get all of them.
Right.
And I'm grateful that I believe that I'll still get all of them, even though I know I won't get all of them. I still believe I'll get all of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're okay with what you get, just because you have so many you have so many ideas, you have so many, so many goals that you're excited about it. But it's hard to write them down initially. It really takes courage to pursue your dream life. What do you think about that? It takes courage to pursue your dream life.
Hey man, I think it's all about the hunt, and you basically are stating that right now. It's about the hunt, not necessarily about the attainment. And that's what I write in this chapter as one of those rules, right? Like, it can't be about the end result. It can't be about getting everything on that dream life description, or else you could run into a problem, and that you're like, well, that goal is so far off. And so it has to be about the pursuit. It has to be about the hunt. And another thing that you just
Journey of it
mentioned,
all.
the journey. And then another thing you just mentioned, man, you just described the title of the book, Hard Work Ain't Hard Work. You said that it's the thinking,
Mm.
it's a thinking, and sort of and sort of writing it down. That is work, but it's not the same labor intensive mopping the floor work that we think of. It's not the same labor intensive jumping into the gym and sort of doing work or doing this or doing that requires exerting lots of energy. Sometimes the hard work is sitting down and thinking about your dreams. Sitting down and thinking about and putting a lot of thought to how am I going to pursue and achieve my dreams, right? And to think about what it is that I want in my dream life. Like that is the hard work. And it's just as important as punching the clock to earn a wage, if not way more important than that. So I thought that was really cool how you sort of explained the title of the book right there.
I was wondering why you got so excited. I did. I did something special. You have in the book. At the beginning, in this chapter, it says, "The greatest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams," by Oprah Winfrey. Now, I would have to say that, like, in terms of being able to even start imagining how you're gonna live your dream life, I feel like having mentors is really important. And I feel like you putting Oprah there at the beginning of it all, like, it's mentor. People don't understand this. Let me explain something. Somebody said something really great. It was, I think her name was Happy Ree, and it was in our, one of our Sunday meetings. And she said, "We need people, but we depend on people too much." And I think that's very true. I think of it in the way of like a lot of people, but I feel like there's two parts to that story, We need people, but we depend on them too much. There's like it's a relationship, it's a balance.
Right.
But with her, when she said that, it really made me think about in terms of when you're talking about going to the next level, upgrading. Is like you can't go by yourself. It's like it's truly, truly true when they say like you are the 5 people that you hang around with. You know what I mean? I feel like that's how my dream life started. It was like God changed my circle. That's what I asked for. I
Yeah.
wanted a book club. I wanted a book club, and then God gave me the book club, Joel Dudley Senior's book club. You know what I mean? And He brought me here in the craziest of ways possible. You know what I mean? Asking it, you surely shall receive.
Oh, for
But for
sure.
me, it's just like understanding that, like, just as those simple things, like you have to go to the next level with people that like want things for you that's bigger than you. I think of you. I think of like some of our other mentors, like Dr. Kennedy. Like every time we were trying to go somewhere, you had to go there with the help of people that understood something about the journey that you were trying to embark on yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't go by yourself. And I feel like that's where a lot of people get stuck of not pursuing their dream life. They meet a few bad apples and then they feel like everybody believes that. But I feel like that's when God, if you keep going on the road, that's why God will like, you'll be connected with, I'll meet a Quincy, I'll meet a Dr. Kennedy because you're relentless on your journey to pursue your dream life. No matter what, He's always going to send you that boost of courage. He's always going to send you that person to help you. You know what I mean?
Oh, for
But you have
sure.
to be relentless. Like that's been the word for me, like moving forward in this whole willpower thing, is being relentless in pursuing my dream life. Like even when everybody tells me I'm not supposed to have it, I'm gonna believe that it's already done.
Yes. Yes. Got to be emphatic and relentless, man. I think Napoleon Hill or Earl Nightingale, somebody says that in Think and Grow Rich, that if you're willing to go after your desires relentlessly and emphatically, then you'll get it. You'll get it. But only if you go after it with in a relentless and emphatic way. So that's powerful, man.
Wow. No, the book, this whole chapter really, 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 really makes you start to like. It goes back to one of Mr. Dudley's tapes. Are you fully invested? Build your dreams, and that's probably my favorite tape because man, you don't understand. Sometimes God gonna piss you off until you win. It was talking about like anytime you don't go down your path of your destiny, it's like everything that you do to distract yourself, God will always keep, like the universe will always keep like reminding you, like this is
Yes.
what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And I feel like this is why sometimes it's so necessary to get upset with yourself, like get mad at yourself a little bit so that you realize that, like, what am I doing? I'm wasting my time. You know what I mean? People are
Right.
dying. There's so many different things happening all over the world. Why am I wasting my time? Why am I not like going further? Why am I not doing more? You know what I mean? And you really have to get mad at yourself sometimes. But like, there's only one way you're gonna get to the next level. It's you. It's you.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But
Right.
it's hard to get upset at yourself when you're such a calm person. You know.
Right.
You just,
I think of like when we think about gravity and the solar system, the dream life is the sun that you come up with is the sun. And so the dream life is like the sun, and you are like one of the planets orbiting around the sun, right? You can only get so far away from that dream life. It is
mm,
it pulls. The dream life
it's
pulls.
powerful.
And Ashani, because you have already gone through the process of sort of reading through this book and writing down some things and having a dream life in mind, right? Having a dream life in mind, that when you start to maybe get a little bit complacent and when you start to plateau a little bit, the dream life pulls, it pulls you back into it. It's not going to allow you to get but so far away. And that's been sort of a big thing that I've noticed and that I've learned is that no, I've taken so many different paths since I created that dream life description. It started out as dream life motivation, and then it went to get motivated, and
Mm,
and then I tried to take it to 7 principles and the body transformation system. Then it's still get motivated. Like it's only going to allow me to go so far, and it may look different. I've had weeks maybe where I get really off track again, but it always pulls right back to that to to the core, which is the dream life. And that's why I feel like it's such an essential thing, because life's going to happen. COVID-19 is going to happen. People are going to die. People are going to get
mhm.
sick. Some of them may even happen to yourself. But what is that core that always pulls you back? All right. It's not, so yeah, I'll leave it at that. But yeah, got to have that core, man.
No, no, I think that you explained that very, very, very well. Like, as you said, it's like your dream life is the sun, and you are one of the planets around your dream life. And even if you go a little further south 1 year, like you'll
Right.
always end up closer back in another season. You know what I mean? It's always gonna be that kind of journey. And I feel like you get closer to the sun when you're willing to burn in it. You know what I mean? I feel like I
Ooh, that
always
was
tell a lot
deep.
of
That was
people,
deep.
oh no, I said it a couple of days ago. Because think about it. I think about it in terms of like with me and my friends. I think of it with in terms of me and my some of like the really close people that I've known for so long. A part of growing into your dream life, there are people that will not be able to come with you. And you have to make a conscious decision of, okay, these people are not going to come with me, but they've always been there. So what do I do? You know? And for me, it's like, I realize it's like sometimes you have to be the friend to jump off and like, you know what I mean? Be willing to be burnt by the sun to make sure people can realize you can fly away. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so you have to be the one to like lead the path. Like, you can't just go find someone else's path and try to follow their path. Like, you're going to be the person, you're going to be a path maker yourself for your friends.
Right.
But you have to be willing to jump in the sun. You have to be willing to be burnt by the sun. You can't look at Icarus when he was trying to fly. Do you see what I'm saying? I hope that's his name, Icarus. I hope that's the story. But
We'll go
yes,
with
no, like
it.
you have to, yeah, we'll go with it. But no, you have to really, truly, some of us have to be that person. Some of us have to be the domino. Some of us have to be the person to be the pioneer. You know what I mean? Be the
Right.
person to like go down the path and like have, like for me, I feel like you're that person. You know what I mean? You went down the path of pursuing your dream life. So then I was okay, like, okay, he's so much happier. Like, look at him, he's glowing. That means it's possible. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what it is when you decide like to be relentless. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I feel like it's like the Millionaire Chronicles. It's like the Chronicles of Wealth. I feel like that's the only way to describe like life right now. It's like you're maturing. You know everything that you want is right there. But you have to get over your own self just to get it,
Right.
just to get it. But it's
Yeah.
it's
Seriously,
worth it. It's worth it. Am I gonna be? You know what I mean?
that's
Am
as
I gonna? Am
complex
I
as it
gonna? Am
is.
I not gonna? Yeah. It's again. It gets very complex, but you have to be willing to be patient with your magic.
Right.
It's inside of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to be
Yeah.
patient with it. But I'm learning how to be more patient with it. Being young and motivated is rough sometimes. What do you say? From failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. Think of all the other projects that you've done in life that was a flop. That's what I keep remembering. I was like, Ashani, like, man, you really just, you keep going. You're the same way, Quincy. I remember this one time you had those pens with the pre-vet club thing that you did like a couple years ago. And
Dude,
you're like, oh, yeah, that was one of my, I was just like, man, like, I understand. It's like
hey,
you've been building little versions of the dream the whole time.
hey,
That's what it
look,
is.
you want to know something funny, man? I found all those pins. I cleaned out my closet, and I had this huge banner that has Prevent World, the logo, and all that stuff on it, right?
Yes,
I found all the
that
pens.
world,
They're still
yes.
in the closet. I have two different types of pens.
Mm-hmm.
But the quote for that was investing in the future of veterinary medicine because it was called Pre-Vet World.
Yes,
And
you did
so, but
that. You did that.
here's the crazy part though. Like it was a failure first and foremost, but it lives on through Get Motivated, bro. Like it still lives on through Get Motivated.
Yes,
And
yes,
the things I wanted to do through Pre-Vet World, I'm doing through Get Motivated. And now with Get Motivated, I can actually take the energy by stepping into my sun, like you said, and burning in it. I can take some of the energy from the sun and I can give it back to Pre-Vet World, and I can make that a thing.
yes.
I can make that a thing because I
It's like
understand
you
the process
deemed
now.
it. You redeemed the failure.
Yeah,
You redeemed it. Yeah.
I understand the process, and so Pre-Vet World may not be as dead as I think it is. Like maybe there's still a Pre-Vet
Exactly.
World out there to be had, but in order to get that, in order to unlock Pre-Vet World, I have to live through Get Motivated first. I don't know, you know.
Yes. 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 No.
But it was
It's
just so
like,
funny that you brought
no,
that up, man, because I kind of forgotten all
you
about it
really.
until I found out some
Oh,
business. I found the
man, I
business
just
cards.
remember.
Yeah,
Yes.
I found the business cards and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So
That was when I, when I saw that, I was like, because it's something that like I think life and the universe always keeps telling me, like, Ashani, you've done so much things in your life. You've built so many different things. You've led so many different organizations. Why do you think this time it's different? What's so special about this time? Is it because you're leading yourself? Is that what's hard? Is that what the challenge is here? No one's telling you what to do. You have to tell yourself what to do. I've been learning that, the calendar is your boss, like life is time, you know what I mean? Are you gonna waste your time? Are you going to, I feel like if it's not on my calendar, I'm not gonna do it. I feel like it's not, you know what I mean? I feel like and you have to, again, you have to take it that seriously, because you can either sit there, waste your time, and know what to do and not do it, right? That's an idiot.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
right.
Like, you know what to do and you're not doing it. You've read the books, you've done the things. It's like Austin that's telling you to believe in yourself, and you refuse to believe in yourself. And if you're gonna live your dream life, you can't think that way. You have to be, it's like one way or another way. You can't live in fear and faith at the same time. You see what I'm saying? You can't live in fear and faith at the same time. So to be able to live in your dream life, I feel like that's why this is a drastic change in your life and my life as well. You really have to like yourself to write that in life. So if you're in your life and you really had some courage one day and mustered up and wrote it down, that's the bravest, most powerful thing that you ever, because you thought positively enough out of your own foolishness to good enough for something. Something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because think about it, you're at your lowest point in your life. For me, that's what happened. I wanted to have a business. I started Hamilton Essays Collaborative, and I was a photographer, and it was just like, whoa, this is the middle of depression. And now I'm realizing the same thing happened with you in Prevent World. It's like, it just wasn't the right time.
Right.
It just wasn't the right time. You know what I mean? But you needed to do it then to inspire you to, like, it's like you had to make the mistakes the first time to now do it again the second time better than before.
And you learn something, that you take on
Yeah.
to the next one, and then you learn something in that next one that you can take on to your future endeavors. And so I think with Pre-Vet World, I learned websites and like how to set my own website. And though that
Mm-hmm.
website didn't last long, I was able to set up, the Get Motivated website, and I was able to bring in business. And because I already had that knowledge, and I could do it on a low cost budget because I didn't have to pay thousands of dollars to a web designer. And so you just learn these little bits and pieces. You start to put together the dream. But what else do you have from this chapter? What were some of your other takeaways or other questions that you had as it relates back to this chapter, which had a lot. It was a long chapter, it was, but it's good.
So my one, this I think I even wrote this down to you like in the review section. Let me explain to you something. So I'm gonna read you what it says. You wrote it out here. Okay, it was the first exercise of this chapter, right? So exercise 2.1. Describe your dream life. What would it look like? Who would be in it? Where would you live? What would your financial picture look like? How would your body look? What kind of spouse would you have? What kind of spouse would you be? What kind of house would you live in? What kind of work would you be doing? What kinds of activities would you do for fun? What would your daily schedule look like? Weekly schedule, monthly schedule? What types of friends would you have? What kind of spiritual life would you have? What kind of work could you do every day that will put us? It says, be specific and detailed as possible. Can with your dream life design. Write this information down on a sheet of paper or type it and print it and never lose it. For the rest of the book, I will refer to this sheet or sheets of paper as your dream life description. This dream life description will be the blueprint or roadmap of your life. If you have no dream life in mind, you will simply blow around in life's whirling winds and end up somewhere you don't desire to be. Without this dream life description in mind, you will almost certainly not attain what you have written down. Now, the reason why I wanted to read that, I love how you're like meditating on the words over there. I see you. The reason why I wanted to bring that up is because it's powerful. That's pretty much the basis of this entire book. Is if you can write that down, that's the mission. And I feel like you kind of like, this is truly a book this is why I feel like why the dream life experience had to become what it is. Quincy, you know how hard it is to write down just that one paragraph of things? What do you want for yourself? What do you want your spouse to look like? Especially being young, especially living in a world that society has had us distracted on everybody else's foolishness but our own foolishness for millennials and millennials and millennials. You see what I'm saying? So having anybody to have that much focused thought on themselves, it truly takes commitment.
Right.
It's truly not something for the weak at all. Right. And I don't know, like you kind of get like the scared bubbles, you know, you kind of feel a little flustered.
Yeah.
Like I feel flustered because it's something that I have yet to even write out fully for myself, because I feel like, but the thing is, this is why I say I feel like everything happened today for a reason, because I feel like now I'm ready to write it out. I feel like now I'm truly ready to write it out. I feel like now I believe I deserve it. You know what I mean? I feel like that's why it's coming around full circle here today. Like, because I told you, it's like literally, yesterday I woke up and I was like, nope, you're not doing this anymore. This is foolishness. You have come from places that people are never supposed to leave. You know what I mean? I have a little bit of tears in my eyes thinking about it, like talking about it now. Like people like you and where you're from, and you know, being from a third world country and being able to sit here at Mr. Dudley's house and talk to Quincy on an interview and do this and create something. It's like, you never thought there's so many people that would die to be in your position. How dare you not live your dream life? Right. How dare you be a slap in the face to all the people that have helped you to be here today? You know what I mean? I feel like, and again, you have to get this mad at yourself to really recognize that, okay, I need to get serious about this. I need to get serious about pursuing my dream life. I need to get serious about pursuing the life of my dream. I need to get serious about pursuing my destiny, because everything is leading me to that point anyway. So why not? What's holding you back? Everything, all the books that you've read, all the people that have said wonderful things to you, all the businesses, all the projects and programs and everything that you've been a part of, what is holding you back now? You know what I mean? So it's like, but I feel like I'm ready for it now. I feel like I had to see some things, and I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. See, I'm over here like half tearing up.
And I want to point something out because it's really important, man. And you're hitting on it. There's a difference between getting angry with yourself and being mean to yourself. They're not the
Mm,
same. One is closer to
that's
shame.
powerful. Mm-hmm.
One is closer to shame,
Mm-hmm.
and another one is empowering. And so
Mm-hmm.
the way you're getting angry at yourself is saying you can do so much more. You can do so much more.
Yeah,
And why aren't you doing that more? Like, what is it? No more. I have to
I
do
feel
the
like it's
more.
self-motivation. I feel like
It,
it's self-motivation. Yeah.
it's self-motivation, self-drive, as opposed to saying, Ashani, you could be doing more. You're such a jerk for, being a person who came from the
Yeah.
place and you're living here and you don't deserve this, man. It's somebody else from Jamaica deserves this opportunity, not you. You're not worthy of that. Like, that's being mean to yourself, not getting angry. That's getting
Mm-hmm.
angry at yourself and being mean to yourself. You get angry with yourself, empower yourself to move forward or to do better. Okay. And so it's really important that if you look back at the way you've been acting, whoever you are listening to this right now, wherever you are, if you're not happy about the way that it's been, if you think you could be doing more, do not be mean to yourself about it. You can get angry about it, but go forward and use that anger to drive you, to really
Yeah.
power you up, and to power up that self-belief machine to move forward and to know that you can do it, just as I've done it, just as Ashani's done it, and to give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace, but be real with yourself. Don't fool yourself. Be honest with yourself,
Yeah.
but don't be mean to yourself. That's the only rule. No shame,
Yeah.
and don't be mean. There's no need for it.
Yeah. No, and I mean, in terms of even when you say angry, the reason why you're getting angry is because life is what you tolerate, Like, your life is defined by what you hate. Your life is defined by the things that you say that you're not going to do. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a big part of it. Like, and again, this is from my little lesson yesterday with Dr. Miles Monroe, and I was really listening to this because it's true. I've had my goat guru, one of my other mentors from last year, with the goat world. She said it to me too. Life is what you tolerate. Sometimes you have to get angry enough at yourself that you stop tolerating your own self. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like, if you keep tolerating the dog doing something, right? You're
right,
just letting it happen, letting it happen, letting it happen. Like, you're just deteriorating your willpower. You're letting it piss you off. It's your fault. It's your fault. You
right.
know what I'm saying? And it's like when you get mad enough at something to say, no, this isn't happening anymore. You have to cut this out. You know what I mean? Just in an action, in a situation. It's like when people keep walking all over you your whole life, you're tolerating the abuse. You're letting it happen by not speaking up for yourself. You see what I'm saying? That's another way to look at it as well. And you have to get angry enough to be like, no, I deserve better. I don't deserve you speaking to me like this. So I'm going to say something.
Yes.
And it's the same way in all the decisions that you have to make in your life. When, like, are you going to keep letting this person keep saying what they say to you? Are you going to keep letting you keep, sabotaging yourself on your own mission? You know what I mean? When are you going to be serious enough to say, okay, and again, it goes back to Miss Deli talks about, like, are you in your game? In your game, like, so many people know everything about basketball. They know everything about LeBron, but, like, you know so much about LeBron, but do you know anything about your game? Do you
Oh,
know
oh,
anything about
oh.
what, how much free throws can you throw? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's the distraction. You see what I'm saying? You're distracted. It's easy to be distracted, especially people, phones, social media, everything. Nobody's reading. Nobody's writing. You see what I'm saying? The crafts that are necessary for growth, for wealth, for power, for whatever you want for that dream life are the things that you're not doing. So are you going to still tolerate yourself for not doing them? It's like the people that say, oh, I don't read because I fall asleep every time I read. Then do something else in the reading position. What do you listen to an audiobook? Switch it up on yourself. Don't just stop
Right,
because you
right,
say you fall asleep. Maybe it's your position. Maybe it's because you're reading in bed every time. You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or people that say they can't wake up because they don't have any time. No, you make time. You figure a way. You find a way. And I feel like it's just, I'm one of those people. You know me, Quincy. You ain't gonna be in my phone talking about complaining about da da da. And I'm not doing what best as I can. I'm gonna be like, no, keep it together. keep going. You're doubting yourself. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm always going to make you believe in yourself. I'm not the friend to make you come on the phone. Again, there's some people that can handle it. And I understand. I understand. But I'm grateful for the ones that understand that, like, I just want you to be the best version of yourself possible. So I'm not going to sit back and see you deteriorating the quality of your character and then not tell you. I'm going to be like, no, think that way. Believe in yourself. You know what I mean? Pick it up. Like, think a little harder. Get more creative. Look at what Corona has done to all of us. We all have to be more creative. We all have to be more creative. And I feel like that's what this chapter calls for, though, in designing your dream life. I feel like it definitely calls for that element of imagination. You know, I think that it's a big part of his visualization. I think because again, this is the thing. When you start doing it, it's really fun.
Oh,
it's
man,
so much fun. You like sitting there and you start daydreaming. You start daydreaming and you start. For me, like I drew out farms and stuff. I drew out gardens, and you know, and it's just you start coloring, and you just like, what's going on? This is fun. But then it's definitely an element of focused thought, because it's fun in those moments, but why don't you do it every day? Why don't you focus on it every day? You know what I mean? It's fun, but why? How much fun does it need to be for you to focus on it every single day? Again, that's why it's just such a, you know, to move towards it as time goes on.
Yeah, and one of the things that I'm doing more and more of now is that I have a checklist. So I write it in this Metatron's Cube notebook that I have, for example, right? And so I have like this little thing.
Oh, sacred geometry.
So I have this thing, it's called My Creation Space. My Creation Space, right? And then so I basically, every day, I try to do it every day. I'm pretty consistent with this, but I go through, and this is kind of like my new dream life description, if you will. It's written in these four pages in here. But I go through every day and say, am I doing something today to advance closer to what I've written here? The things, the items on my kind of like my newest, my dream life.
My mission.
Yeah, so I just simply dot it. I say, check. I'm doing something that I'm sending an email. I'm thinking about it. I'm meditating on it. You know, I have it here to improve my relationship with my wife. And so every time I come across that one now, I send her something, you know, special via a text message. Or I just run downstairs really quick and give her a hug and a kiss or something like that. But basically, I have my health in here, my health and body. So did I work out? Did I play tennis? Did I eat something healthy? Like, am I working towards those things? And I think that's actually a part of the dream life there. And I think it's one of the critical points that you read earlier, where I said that take action towards these things and to document whether or not you're actually taking action. Because when you go back and look, say, oh, I didn't receive this one. Well, have you been taking action towards it? And it's kind of like that story that I told about my tennis friend. I love that story in here, man. I love that story. I love that story. I love that story in this chapter where, you know, he's like, she wanted to travel the world, keep his clients because he's a financial advisor, and still get paid. And I was like, well, how much action have you taken towards doing that? Before you can say it's not possible for you to do it, you have to actually, first of all, visualize it, imagine it, write it down in your dream life, and then go through and take the actions and, you know, hold yourself accountable. Like, am I working toward that? Like, how can you expect it?
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah. I mean, how can you expect it to be if you're not thinking about it, writing it down, and taking action towards it? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So, I don't know. That's one of my favorite parts. And you know, when I think about the whole dream life description, one of the big parts in there is where I was talking about how I wanted to be a world-class motivational speaker, right? And I even wrote in there, Ashani, this is so crazy. I wrote that down, and I had never given a speech before. When I wrote that down, bro, 50 speeches later. 50 speeches later. Over 50 speeches later, many of them paid, and from the East Coast to Texas to California to Indiana,
to the West Coast, you have to be specific.
To Indiana, you know what I'm saying? It's like I've done that, But it all started out, and I think that's the best example of this thing, man. It all started out as a
Yes.
part of the dream life description, and actually looking at it and not just writing it down and just storing it in the closet somewhere. And so that's why
Yeah.
I have so much faith and confidence in this, in what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I really hope that someone somewhere, whoever you are listening to this, that you hear this, and that you write down your dreams, and that you take action, and that you get the result, and then that you go and tell somebody else about it, so that they can go do the same. Because there's no better feeling, man. No better feeling than knowing your
There's
dreams.
absolutely no better feeling.
I mean, I just don't know what could beat that, you know?
You don't know what could beat that. Oh man. So there's one thing that you just struck upon that that keeps rolling around in my brain when we talk about, like, you know, in terms of like living your dream life and implementing in your life. I feel like one thing that I would highly recommend, and I'll help you create this and we can do it together. But as I said, it's very difficult for people like me that they're visionaries. Like, I realize I can answer the questions, but like I need help answering the questions, you know?
Right.
I want more specific detail of the question. I need you to dive. I feel like that's such a vague question to ask me. What do I want? What do I want my spouse to look like? Like, I'm, you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people, it's like that. I feel like a way that just like the Sims game is set up, and that's very easy to kind of decide in the moment. So I feel like in terms of with this, one of the resources to be able to like maybe create for like, the dream life experience is like a dream life template, or like as you say, you call it a blueprint, like, you know, like a sheet of like, or a detail of like, okay, like in this, and use the wellness wheel, like as you suggest, because that's where I started with mine. I started with the wellness wheel. I started with personal wellness,
There you go.
and then like, okay, what did each of those things meant to me? And then from there, but I'm telling you, to get the true meats and potatoes from dream life experience, writing it down, like how you say writing it down, like even before you have it, you have to believe in something. And I realized that a lot of the people that have problems with mental health, and especially in the veterinary medicine industry, and in the medical fields and the professional programs, you know, we know the problems. That part of it is, I'll give you a perspective from a, you know, a pre-vet student who, you know, who was on the journey of going to vet school. When you are on the journey of going to vet school, when you go to vet school and you get there, right? That it feels like that's it. It's like, and I have one of my friends, she's a doctor, and that's exactly what she's going through right now. She's already in residency, you know. It's like she doesn't know. It's like she's stuck because she doesn't have anything else to dream for. You know what I mean? I feel like that happens a lot to a lot of people when they get what they've been dreaming for. It's like, okay, I'm a teacher now, I'm a doctor now, I'm a lawyer now. Like, what is there next, God? You know what I mean? Or what else is there next, universe? It's like that's why people feel stuck. This designing your dream life helps people to get unstuck, helps them to get unstuck, because now you, okay, like you already did that one dream. Like, what are you gonna do with it? You know what I mean? Now that you're a doctor, now that you're a veterinarian, what are you gonna do with your degree? What are you gonna do with education? What do you? Then I feel like the dream life kind of helps you to be able to, because I feel like when you try to go to vet school, it's like a bubble. All you think about is vet school. All you think about is being a veterinarian, because it's difficult to get it. So you have to be that focused, you know? It's not even your fault. It's, you have to be that focused on wanting to go someplace. But then when you realize that, wow, there's so much more to the world than just this one thing that I've been so relentless on my whole life. There's so much more pieces of even me that, you know what I mean? That I have to be able to explore and expand upon. So being able to identify that, I feel like, is a very, very key point. One of the last things I wanted to bring up, you actually wrote a note in here. It's a hidden gem, is what you called it. It says, I have also learned something else about developing the dream life description and reading it every day. I learned that by studying my dream life description, I'm able to find purpose in it. We will talk more about purpose and why in chapter 3, vision and purpose. That's the next chapter. So first of all, that word purpose that word purpose. So you said that you have found your purpose, you know, like on this adventure of, speaking of your dream life description every day. What is that purpose to you?
Yeah, so that purpose to me, and it's not even something that I have written down. And so I'm just going to speak to what I think it is now in this moment. And I don't even know what I was talking about when I wrote that. But let me tell you what I was talking about. Helping people. Like that was the purpose that I discovered, is that through through the process of me creating my dream life, discovering it, pursuing it, and the process of achieving it, that I realized how awesomely amazing it is. And through that, I discovered that I wanted to share that with every other person on the face of the planet. And so my purpose, whether you call it well-being, whether you call it the dream life, whether you call it the best life, whether you call it heaven on earth, like my purpose is to help everybody else discover that same thing. It doesn't have to look the same, but they need to discover in principle the
For
same.
themselves.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for themselves. It may look completely different than mine, and I'm learning that more and more every day, that how people choose to live their lives is none of my business or anybody else's business. That's their business, how they choose to live their lives. But I think that everyone would agree that, I mean, if you don't want to live your dream, then to me, something's wrong with you. So like, I'm sorry. I hate to be so blunt and bold,
I
but
wouldn't say
like,
something is wrong with them. I would say they're not awakened. I feel like that's what a better thing to say. Like I feel like they choose
well, I
to be
mean,
ignorant because Neil Lacey always said it. You know what I mean?
but
Like people don't read because they don't want to learn more. If you know more,
but I mean, but the
you
dream
have
life
to do better.
is different though, because like, if you think about the dream life and what it is, and we'll call it something else, to live your best life. Like if you don't want the best for yourself, then to me, that, then there is a problem. So there's not something wrong with you in terms of to shame you, but that's abnormal. That's abnormal to not want the best for yourself. Like it's normal to want the best for yourself, right? And so that's what I mean. It's like to not want the best for yourself, which is sort of the dream life, regardless of what you think the best for yourself is. Like even if you think the best for yourself is drinking every day, like it, you still want the best for yourself. And I feel like it's just normal to just want the best for yourself, even if it's not exactly sort of what you want that to be. And so that's why I encourage everybody to take the time to want to have the dream. And so you mentioned something else too, where you said that um, like to have like a template or like an algorithm, almost like, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. I feel that what
Like a
I, I,
blueprint.
I feel like it's already there. And what the biggest thing that they need to have, like I could have a template, and there are plenty of them out there already. I don't even want to reinvent the wheel. They can probably just type in dream life template, and you'll get something. The well-being wheel, or the life wheel, the wellness wheel. Those things are as good as a template, because I feel like if I give them a template, Ashani, that it takes away from some of what they really need to be doing, which is taking a lot of time, a lot of time, a lot of focus, a lot of concentration, and to really a lot of effort into that. And there is no substitute for that. And honestly, that's really all that you need. You need yourself, and you need a lot of time, maybe some classical music or some focus music or something in the background, or some peaceful music. You need to be
Some
alone.
meditation music. Yeah.
You need to be alone. You can't do this with your kids running around in the back, with your spouse sitting beside you. This is something you do alone. It's something you do by yourself, and it's something that's not supposed to take 10 minutes. It's not supposed to take an hour, a week. It takes
Just don't put a time on it because you're like the
it,
more you write it, it's just
just
gonna start. I think,
it's just do
yeah,
it. Take time and get
yeah.
quiet, shut up, be still, classical music if you
Mm-hmm.
need it, and it'll come to you. And follow the
It'll
15.
just pour out.
I had like 15 rules. Ashani, that is the template. The 15 rules. Like, don't think about what your mom wants of you. Don't think about what your spouse wants of you. What do you want of you? That's all that matters. What do you want? All right. And you write that down. And the only limitations you can have are the limitations that you place upon yourself with your own limited thinking. So
Yeah.
just even if you want a swimming pool full of chocolate ice cream, if that's what you think you want, just write it down. If it's something silly and that's something that you won't want in the future, doesn't matter. That'll happen. That'll come.
Get
But
it
if you
out of your brain, so it's out of your brain. So you stop thinking about it at least.
yes,
You know what I
write it
mean?
write it down.
Yeah, like get it out of your brain.
Right.
Yeah, I know. It's man. You talk about what the whole idea of purpose, and you talk about like it being inside of you as a person. And I just think about the whole concept of you and I talking about heaven. Heaven is a place on earth, and I feel like living your dream life is like living your own version of heaven. You know, that's kind of like what my conclusion is at this point. Like living your dream life is like living your own version of heaven. Like, are
Yes.
you going? And again, you can choose heaven or you can choose hell. Hell is on earth too. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I feel like it's one or the other. And I feel like again, it's like a battle of choosing between the two on days that you want to. And I'm grateful. I'm really truly grateful for this conversation today because as you said it best, you said I have the template. It's just you have to be courageous enough to now do the work, to sit down, to be still. Like, bruh, being young in this generation and being like so many distractions, and then being in business and then doing this, it's like you really have to give yourself some props. You really have to give yourself some credit. You can sit down for 5 minutes and do something for 5 minutes. And I think that that's a big thing that's happened in this time of life with Corona and like with everything going on. Like all of us have been forced to finally sit down with ourselves and really get comfortable with the skin that you're in because the world is changing whether we like it or not. And I feel like now it's a good time for people to be pursuing their dream life because next year is going to be a completely different year. You know what I
Right.
mean? This year
Right.
has been, canceled until further notice. God canceled this year. 2020 has been, go stay at home. Stay at home all year.
Wow.
People are like, oh, they're letting us suck out. No, we're staying home until
It's a
further notice. Okay. So,
it's a
but
blessing in
no, this is
disguise,
good.
really,
This
though,
is good
right?
stuff to be doing. Oh, right. That's the craziest part. It's like you've been asking for this time and you didn't know how it was gonna happen, and you realize, oh, God just shut down the whole entire earth just so you can like sit down and pursue your dream life, figure out what you're gonna do. You
You
know what I
know,
mean? It just
most
feels
most
like that.
people most people will have been living somebody else's dream up until COVID,
Yes, for so
and
long.
now you
Yes,
actually have a good excuse to focus on you.
yes.
Like, think about
To
this,
stay at
Ashani.
home.
Like,
Yes.
I was doing I
So
was doing
true.
I was doing VIP pet care, right? And that was funding my bank account. It was funding the bank account, along with the company that I created. But I was so comfortable in that I wasn't really putting everything that I could into my company.
You got
Now
complacent. Yeah, you
I
got
got
complacent
complacent,
with the
but now
comfortability.
that God took that away from me, right? Now that the universe took that away from me, now all of my attention and energy can go into what
Yep.
my true passion, my truest passion, which is the
Mm-hmm.
company that I created, the thing that my vehicle for my dreams. I can put more into that,
The beginning of it all.
and it has
Mm-hmm.
grown into exactly what I want it to be because of COVID-19. And I could sit here and break it down for you, but I've reached out to the people, like my team members, for Get Motivated, and I'm not sure I would have reached out to them without COVID-19 giving me that really good reason just to say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, how are things going for you, man? Like, is there anything I can do for you? How are you feeling? And to see, it's just been, I'm so sorry for the people who have lost people and who have been affected negatively by COVID-19, because a loss of life is something that I wouldn't even try to justify with my life
Oh, it
principles.
burns.
It,
Yeah.
it burns, so I'm not going to go there. But aside from the loss of life, like loss of job, I mean, I feel bad for you if you lost that, but maybe it's a wake up call, and and and
Yeah.
and 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 if you haven't seen it in that way, then I know that it's a wake-up call. If you don't know it's a wake-up call, then it definitely is. Okay. All right. So like
No, this one,
that's
I
the
think a
most
lot of
positive
people are
proof.
realizing love is. hmm I think a lot of people are realizing it's really important to like actually like your brain, like who you are. Your mental health is important. Like the people that you're living with is important. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different ways that we have been so distracted from who we are as people for
Yes.
so long. And I feel like now we're forced to get reacquainted with ourselves and reacquainted with who we are and what we wanted, what we really wanted for ourselves. I feel like, I guess there's gonna be a lot of divorces this year, a lot of children being born. Like it's gonna be a very, you know, I feel like, again, like, and all the readings that I've ever done and all that stuff, like online, it all same thing. It's that 2020 would be a year that no one will ever forget the rest of their lives. And I was just like, I believe it. I believe it. But I agree, Quincy. Like, and even a loss of a life. Like, I've had someone close to me die as well. And I don't know. I think for me, I always just like, it's always a wake up call for me when someone dies, because it's like something always drastic happens every time someone dies in my life. Like, I always make a strong decision, a very, very, very powerful decision. And I
Yes.
feel like this time it's like, God just told you that life is short. Life is evidently short. Are you going to sit back and waste your time, or are you going to live the life of your dreams? Pick one, because
Right.
I could crumble it all tomorrow, Shani. I could come get your ass tomorrow, bro. So what are you gonna
Tomorrow.
do? You know what I mean? I feel like that's the kind of
Tomorrow.
fire I have on myself. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
next week,
Yeah.
couple
Yeah.
minutes
Yeah.
from now, he can clock me.
Right.
Slipping.
Right. Right.
Yep.
It only takes the blink of an eye, man. And
hmm
there's an advantage in every disadvantage. There's opportunity in all chaos. So I've said this time and time
hmm
again. You know that Mr. Dudley said it, SB Fuller said it, and Oprah said something in one of her talks in a YouTube video. She said that the universe or God, Mother Nature, always speaks in whispers, and it's like getting he
That's
said
powerful.
she said that sometimes to wake you up as an individual, that God will give you like a thump upside the head, and then it'll be like a brick upside the head, and if that still doesn't wake you up, then the whole wall falls down to get your attention.
Mm.
And so when I think about COVID-19, this is the wall falling down to get the attention of the human race, to get your attention, whoever you are watching this right now, to get your attention. Sometimes the wall has to mother and fall down. All right.
hmm
And I feel that the wall is down right now. And if that doesn't get your attention, then there will be something bigger on the next go around. All
Yep.
right. And
There'll be something bigger. Yep.
that's just the way, that's just the way that it is. So take this time. And if you're listening to this, we always say this towards the end of every episode. You are far along the curve. Like if you hung around this far, there's so many people who will see the
Yeah.
title of this YouTube
Yeah.
video. There's so many people who will see the title of this video and they will pass it by, which is fine.
Yep.
That's perfectly fine. When it's time for them to hear it, they'll hear it. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And we're not here because we're bored. You have things to do, Ashani?
Oh, plenty of things. Plenty of things,
I
my
have, I
friend.
have a
But
lot of things to do.
I feel
And
like it's a necessity. This is a priority for me to share.
it is
I
it
feel
is
like that's what it is for both of us. It's a priority for us to share. It's a priority for us to give back. They say after you've learned what you've learned, the last thing for you to do is share. You
right.
have to share your blessings. You have to share your blessing of education. You have to share your blessing of knowledge, of enlightenment. Like, why are we so happy? I
Right.
feel like we have to share the news to the people all over the world that heaven is something that is inside of you. You know what I mean? I feel like, isn't that what Jesus wanted us to do? We're just being our own little versions of Jesus. We're just doing what Jesus would have done.
Hey,
That's all we're doing. That's
we're just
all we're doing. We're trying our best. That's all we're
look,
doing.
look. I like to put it
We're
like this,
doing our
man.
best. We're not even
Look,
trying our
look.
best.
When a bird sings, it's not singing for the advancement of music. It's simply doing its thing. When a river
Oh,
flows, it's just doing its thing. It's not flowing for the advancement of the world.
okay,
And,
bars.
and and check this out, man. And if I stop to listen into that bird, that's fine, right? And so Ashani and I speak in the same light.
It's
When we're doing this
necessary. Yeah.
podcast, we're not trying to advance the human race. We're just doing our thing. I'm doing this because I enjoy it. Ashani's doing this because he enjoys it. It's a part of our purpose. It's a part of our life. And if you so happen to hear this message
Yes.
and enjoy it, then that's fine. And I'm so happy that you do. But for the people who pass it by, you don't have to listen to the birds sing. It's cool.
The bird gonna still keep singing though.
It's gonna sing
It's
anyway,
like you can't
right?
tell a star to stop shining now.
That's
You
right, man.
can't tell
That's
no
right.
star to stop shining.
That's
You
right.
can't tell
That's
no
right.
fire to stop, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's what it's all about. I think, I think we just answered the question. Courage is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. We over here talking about literally never losing enthusiasm. That's the one thing about you, Dr. Hawley. I've always appreciated. Like, when you talk about there's a light in the room, man, ever since I met you, it's always like, he has energy. There's something about him. There's something about him. He walks differently than other people. And this is why you're such an inspiration for so many people. Because even though I know so much about you to know that, you walk and you're proudly moving forward, but there's a lot that you have to fight against yourself. You know what I mean? I know enough about you to know that. But like for everybody else out there, you look effortlessly doing it. And that's the best thing. You're making it look easy. I'm making it look easy now with what I'm doing. I feel like because we've been making it look so easy for so long, we've taken ourselves for granted on the journey that we've been on. I really had to remember the other day, I was like, Ashani, you're really emotionally tough. You've been through a lot. And it's the same thing with you, Dr. Hawley. I was remembering the whole thrift store situation. They talk about
Oh,
entrepreneurs being down to like the bottom of their coins and like doing things doing things that you have to do because you must do it, not because you want to do it at all. And like,
right,
I've
right,
seen
right.
you on such, I've seen you live it, I've seen you live what you preach. I've seen you live and practice what you preach.
Right.
And I think
Right.
that's what takes it to another level. That's something that I had to become for myself too. It's like, Ashani, you must practice what you preach. Anything that you're angry about in this world, it was you that came here to fix it. It was you that was supposed to fix it. You're mad that parents weren't, taking care of themselves. So what did you do? What did God make you do? What did you manifest? A whole program for that. I was mad that people weren't talking about agriculture education. So what did I become? I became a farmer that spoke. Do you see what I'm saying? To educate people. And it's like anything that you're mad about in this world, you're mad about, people, we need better police officers, or we need better doctors, and presidents, and better politicians. You become it in the world. You know what I mean? You
Yep.
truly have the change that you want to see in the world. Don't just talk about it anymore. When are you going to get enough to support me? When are you going to get mad enough to evolve into who you were supposed to become? You know what I mean? See, I get me hyped today. I used to calm down. I used to calm down.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously, and I need to make everyone think about what are you playing? Everybody else's game. What are your game seriously? I used to interest in tennis. First competitive my whole life. Now I'm competitive for my it's been the focus in my life.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
whole life. And it's like I wanted to channel right now of my life and business. I'm really channeling business, but I'm grateful. Would you like me? Let me read the final words.
Yeah. And
The
then we'll go
critical
ahead.
points once time. The beginning.
And then we'll go ahead and wrap this one up, man. I think we've been on for a while now.
Yes, we have. Oh man. You have to chop this one up later, yes. So okay, the critical points again reviewed over for chapter 2. Discover and design your dream life. 1. Your dream life description is your blueprint for your life. You can't possibly live your life without exactly the way that you want, without knowing what you want. 2. When you dream big and others don't believe or discourage you, I want you to think back to the story of me and my tennis buddy. Never let someone else's fears or doubts determine or influence what is and isn't possible for you. 3. Your purpose or your why will be found in your dream life description. You may not see it initially, but you look closely and frequently, you will surely find it. 4. You shouldn't have to find the balance between enjoying your life and working towards your dream. Working towards your dream should in and of itself be the enjoyment of your life. 5. It would take some time for you to achieve your dream life description. So waiting to completely achieve your dream life description should not be a required for obtaining your happiness. You should be happy the day you start working towards your dream life. This happiness will grow each day you move forward for the rest of your life, and regardless of all circumstances. 6, don't be a pure dreamer. Become a dream achiever by taking enormous action towards making your dreams become reality. Yes. Yes.
Love it, man. I love it. I love it. Well, good people, thank you to our listeners, our viewers. We certainly appreciate your support. Leave a comment if this episode touched you at all. Let us know what you think. Subscribe, and if you ever have any questions or concerns, you can find us on social media. And you can find. I'll let Ashani leave his not tag. What do you call it? Handle, social media handles or something like that. And
social media.
My name is Dr. Quincy Hawley. If you want to talk to me, you can find my contact information in so many different places. I'm not going to tell you. So make you hunt for it. The hunt.
See, I need to get the level where I can tell them to you find me on Instagram at ASHANIMBEA, and it's the same name for YouTube as well. And you can follow me on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. And I'd love to speak to any of you guys and talk to you guys, or coaching sessions or whatever you guys. I'm pretty open book. Just send me a message and I'll respond back to you. No weirdos, please. But that's just good.
Yeah.
And tell them what you don't want. And
I know we had a little bit of technical difficulties with the audio breaking up a little bit. We'll work on that for future episodes as well. And we'll also put Ashani's information down in the description section of this video. That's it, man. That's all I got for the good people, man. Go live your dreams, discover, pursue, achieve. And this is our 4th episode of the Dream Life Experience. I'm looking forward to continuing to do that and continue to update you guys on how things are going for myself. And I'm sure Shani would love to do the same. So have a blessed weekend, and the rest of your life.
All right. Blessings be. Have a good one.